Hey everyone, hold on tight, because Hollywood just took a massive hit. Pamela Back, the Baywatch star and David Hasselhoff's ex, was found dead in her Los Angeles home on March 5, 2025. She was only 62. This news dropped out of nowhere, and it's got everyone talking. Picture this. Late Wednesday night, paramedics get a frantic call and rush to her big Hollywood Hills house. Her family hadn't heard from her in days, so they raced over, pushed open the door, and found her. Gone just like that, their world turned upside down. Early word says it was a gunshot. Something she might have done herself. Sounds like suicide. But the LA experts are still digging. Nothing's final yet. David Hasselhoff didn't wait to speak up, saying through a rep, "We're crushed. Please leave us alone to handle this." It's short, but you can feel the weight. Now everyone's asking, was it really suicide? Why didn't anyone see it coming? Stick with me. We're diving deep into this one. And just when you think that's heavy enough, a bombshell hits. Rumors are flying about a last video of Pamela, caught on tape hours before she was gone. Word on the street says security cameras in that same Hollywood Hills home picked up something chilling. She's pacing around, all alone, maybe nervous, maybe calm. Nobody's sure yet. People close to the scene swear this footage is real. But the cops? They're keeping it hush-hush, locked away while they figure things out. Imagine it. Pamela's final moments, her face on screen, looking right at the camera. Did she know what was coming? Fans and reporters are losing their minds trying to get a peek, because if this tape surfaces, it could flip everything we think we know about her last night. Just weeks before, on New Year's Eve 2024, she posted on Instagram all about joy, smiling big, talking about her granddaughter, wishing everyone a happy 2025. She wrote, "My heart's full of gratitude," like everything was golden. But then, bam, she's gone. How do you go from that kind of happiness to this kind of tragedy so fast? Some folks who study this stuff say people can hide their pain behind a big smile. Could Pamela have been hurting deep down? Fans are scrolling back now, leaving comments like, "We didn't see it coming, and it's hitting hard." That brings us to David Hasselhoff. He didn't wait long to say something after she passed. Through a rep, he shared a short note. "We're crushed by Pamela's passing. Please leave us alone to deal with this." It's not much, just a few words, but you can feel how heavy it is. He was her husband for 17 years. Think about it. They had love, fights, a big messy split back in 2006. With all that history, why so quiet now? Some wonder if he's just too shocked to talk, or maybe he's keeping something close to his chest. People are watching him, waiting to see if he'll open up more. Now let's turn to Pamela's daughters, Taylor and Haley. They're the ones feeling this loss the deepest. Haley didn't say much, just posted a little heart emoji on an old photo of her mom on Instagram. A quiet way to say goodbye. Taylor's been completely silent so far. No words, no posts. Maybe it's too much for her to even try right now. Pamela was super close to them, always calling them her whole world. There are tons of pictures out there, all hugs and big smiles, showing how tight they were. Losing their mom at 62, out of the blue like this, has got to be tearing them apart. Everyone's wondering if they'll share more soon. Whatever they say can give us a peek into how they're holding up. Pamela's last Instagram post wasn't just about her. It was about her granddaughter, London, who seemed to light up her life. She shared a little video of London, all dressed up with pink bows, giggling away, and called her my greatest blessing. You could tell being a grandma meant everything to her, especially in those final weeks. London's Taylor's little girl, just a toddler, too young to understand what's happened. Pamela was so proud, always beaming about her in that post from New Year's Eve 2024. Now with her gone, it's tough to think about London growing up without those special moments with her grandma. That takes us to where it all went down, Pamela's Hollywood Hills mansion, her home for years. It's a stunning place, worth about $2 million, with huge windows and views that stretch forever, pure luxury. On March 5, 2025, everything changed there. It was late at night when her family found her in her bedroom, alone with a gun nearby. Neighbors say she kept to herself lately. No parties, no noise, just quiet. The street was calm until those sirens showed up, breaking the silence. Now people are wondering what else that house might be hiding from that night. Before all this, Pamela was a star on Baywatch. That's where most people got to know her. She played Kay Morgan, showing up in a bunch of episodes, bringing this tough, lively energy to the beach. It wasn't just a small part, she made it her own, and millions of fans tuned in to watch her alongside David Hasselhoff and Pamela Anderson. Those were her big years, when her name started lighting up Hollywood. Baywatch wasn't just a show for her. It's what put her on the map and kicked off her fame. That fame ties back to how she met David Hasselhoff. It all started on the set of Knight Rider in 1985. She popped in for a guest role, and he was the star, cruising around in that famous car. They locked eyes, and sparks flew fast. David later said she was like his dream girl. It didn't take long for them to go from co-stars to a couple, grabbing dinner and falling hard for each other. By 1989, they were saying, "I do," tying the knot in a wedding that felt straight out of a Hollywood script. Once they were married, Pamela and David lived this big, flashy life together for 17 years. They hit red carpets side by side, all dressed up, smiling for the cameras, pure glamour. Then came the kids, Taylor in 1990 and Haley in 1992, making them a family of 4. But it wasn't all perfect. Fights started popping up over money and fame, and things got messy. The tabloids loved it, flashing headlines about their rocky times. By 2006, that spark was fading, and you could tell the end was coming for them. By 2006, Pamela and David's marriage was falling apart, and their divorce turned into a real mess. It wasn't just a quiet split. There were big fights over custody of Taylor and Haley, who were teenagers by then. The tabloids ate it up, with stories flying about money troubles and accusations on both sides. Pamela walked away with spousal support, but it left scars. Years of love turned into court battles. That breakup wasn't just the end of a chapter. It was a loud public crash that stuck with them both. Even after Baywatch, Pamela kept working and showing what she could do. She popped up on Knight Rider, that's where she met David after all, and took on roles in The Young and the Restless, playing different characters over time. She wasn't just David's wife or a beach star, she had her own gigs, from TV cameos to modeling here and there. Later, she even tried reality TV, like Celebrity Big Brother in 2011. Her career had ups and downs, but she never fully stepped out of the spotlight. Now let's think about her last hours. Some say Pamela might have made one final call before everything ended. No one's confirmed it, but imagine her picking up the phone that night, dialing someone close, maybe a friend, maybe family. Could it have been one of her daughters, just to hear their voice? Or maybe someone unexpected, someone we haven't thought of yet. If that call happened, it's locked away with the cops for now, leaving us guessing about who was on the other end and what she might have said. Pamela's story makes you wonder about the hidden side of Hollywood. Could she have been struggling with something nobody saw? Being a star isn't all glitz. There's pressure, loneliness, and stuff that weighs you down. Some people keep it buried deep, even from family. Maybe Pamela was fighting a quiet battle. Her last post was so happy, but that doesn't always tell the whole truth. Mental health's a big deal in that world, and her ending has folks thinking about what might have been going on behind her smile. Right now, the investigation into Pamela's death is still rolling. The LA medical examiner's team is on it. They're looking at everything: the gunshot, her home, any clues she left behind. Early reports called it suicide, but they're not rushing to lock that in. Tests take time. If something new pops up like that rumored video or anything else, it could shift what we know. People are waiting to hear what comes next, because every detail matters in a case like this. When the news broke, Pamela's fans didn't hold back. They'd flooded places like X with messages. You'd see stuff like, "Rest in peace, Pamela. You were amazing," or "Can't believe she's gone," all over the internet. Some shared old Baywatch clips, others just posted hearts. Thousands of people feeling the hit. It wasn't just LA. This went global fast, showing how much she meant to folks who grew up watching her. That love's still pouring out, keeping her name alive online. Pamela's gone, but what she left behind is still here. Her legacy's bigger than just one moment. Her daughters, Taylor and Haley, carry her spirit. They're out there living their own lives, shaped by her love. Then there's Baywatch. Those episodes keep her on screens, reminding fans of her spark. She wasn't just a name, she was a mom, a grandma to London, and a star who touched a lot of people. How folks remember her now through her work and her family, that's what'll stick around. David Hasselhoff's past comes up a lot when you think about Pamela. They were tied together for so long. He's had his own rough patches, like battles with drinking and the crazy pressure of fame, all splashed across headlines. Their marriage took hits from that stuff, and even after the divorce, it's hard to say if those old echoes ever really faded for her. Could that history have lingered in her mind even years later? It's part of their story, whether it played a role or not. Some fans talk about a Baywatch curse. Sounds wild, but hear it out. Pamela's not the only one from the show who's faced tough times. Other stars like Nicole Eggert and Yasmin Bleeth have had their struggles too. Then there's David with his ups and downs. Makes you wonder if that beach life came with a hidden cost. It's probably just coincidence, but when you line up the stories, it's easy to see why people start spinning tales. Pamela's death just adds fuel to that idea. Pamela's final days are a bit of a puzzle. We're still piecing them together. Her last Instagram post was New Year's Eve 2024, all about happiness and her granddaughter, but after that she went quiet online. No one's sure what she was up to in those weeks. Maybe staying home, maybe seeing family. She liked a post from Hailey just hours before, so she was around at least a little. It's hard to say if those days were calm or stormy, but they led right up to that night. The gunshot, that's the detail everyone's stuck on, the one that ended it all. Reports say it was self-inflicted, found right there in her bedroom. But where'd the gun come from? Was it hers, something she'd had for a while or new? No one's talking about that part yet. The cops are keeping it close while they dig. It's a tough image to shake, knowing that's how her story closed, and it leaves a lot of questions hanging. Pamela had friends out there, but where were they when this happened? Neighbors say she'd been low-key lately, no big gatherings, no one dropping by much. Her family found her after days of no contact, which makes you wonder why no one checked sooner. Was she pulling away on purpose, or did life just get busy for everyone? It's a lonely thought. She was in that big house, and nobody saw the end coming. The media went nuts when Pamela's death hit. Headlines popped up everywhere fast. TMZ broke it first, then People and Daily Mail jumped in, all with their takes. Baywatch star's tragic end, or Hasselhoff X dead at 62. They grabbed clicks with big words and old photos, spinning the story wider each day. It's how news works. Take a moment, make it loud, keep people hooked. Her name's been all over since, and it's not slowing down. Her daughter Hailey's stepping into her own light, kind of like Pamela did. She's an actress too, been in shows like Huge and even Baywatch for a bit, following her mom's path. They were close. Hailey grew up with Pamela's love for the craft, soaking it in. Now with her mom gone, it's like she's carrying that torch forward. It's a bittersweet thing, seeing her chase those same dreams. Then there's Taylor, she's built her own family, and Pamela was so proud of that. Taylor's got little London, the granddaughter Pamela adored, born a couple years back. Those New Year's Eve posts showed how much joy London brought her, always smiling about her grandbaby. Taylor's keeping quiet now, but you can bet Pamela's love for that little girl was a huge part of her life. It's a piece of her that lives on. Even after the divorce, Pamela and David had their tangles. Money was a big one. She got spousal support after 2006, but they fought over it, back and forth in court. Those battles dragged on, leaving tension that didn't just vanish. It's not like they were screaming lately, but that old friction might have stuck in her head. Divorce doesn't always clean the slate, and for Pamela, it left some marks. In her later years, Pamela slowed down. She wasn't the big name she once was. After Baywatch and the divorce, she did some modeling, popped up on Celebrity Big Brother in 2011, but it was quieter. She wasn't chasing the spotlight like before, just living, raising her girls, being a grandma. Hollywood moved on, and she seemed okay stepping back. Those days were calm, at least from the outside. Pamela's story fits into something bigger. Hollywood can chew people up. Fame's tough. The pressure, the eyes on you, the way it pulls at your life. She saw it with David, lived it herself, ups that lift you high, downs that hit hard. Her ending makes you think about all the stars who've struggled under that weight. It's not just her. It's a pattern, a cost some pay for the bright lights. What if there's more to this? Some folks aren't sold on the suicide story. Could it have been an accident, a gun gone wrong? Others whisper about someone else being there, though no proofs come up. The video rumors don't help. People wonder if it'll show a twist. Most stick with the official line, but these what-ifs keep buzzing around. It's human to guess when the pieces don't all fit yet. Pamela's story ends here, and it's a lot to take in. She was a star, a mom, a grandma, all wrapped into one life. From Baywatch waves to quiet days with London, she lived big and left her mark. Now with her gone, her family holds the memories. Taylor, Hailey, David, all carrying her forward. Fans still watch her old shows, keeping her alive that way too. It's a goodbye to someone who shone bright right up to the end.